this is Heavy Thrash Head of Nasty Metal Productions channel at YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna try and at least be quick with this because I don't really got a whole lot to show, but I definitely have quite a bit that was released on Roadrunner Records, which is what we're talking about today. This is the fourth video that I'm doing where I'm showing off what I have that was released on released on record labels. Okay, now I don't have a whole lot on vinyl because if I did, it would be original pressings, which I don't have. The only original pressing I have is actually a license, but it was like released on one of their sub-labels. I think some of you might know of their sub-label that they had back then because they've been around since the 80s. You know, somewhere around where Metal Blade, or even up in Germany with SPV Steamhammer, you know, they were some of the big tycoons are one of the big tycoons in heavy metal for, you know, record labels, since they've released a whole lot of shit. Some of them got licensed by other record labels, which I will talk about as well. So when it comes to licensing, it would be Road Racer, and they did do a CD series in the 90s, or at least 1990, called the Price Killer series. Another one that I got on there, Roadrunner did license it because of it. They were the original ones to release it when it came out, and that is Carnivore's first album. And fuck, the line, here it is, ain't on. Yeah, Carnivore's first album. You know, mostly remembered for Pete Steele, who sadly passed away in 2010. Think that is the right year, if I am. But that and another guitar player who also passed away somewhere around the 2000s as well, whose name is not coming to me. Or wait a minute. Keith Alexander, who was the guitar player on this one, who will then later on form Primal Scream and release that one record called Volume 1, which is also very similar to this, but again, this is just very punk-fueled speed thrash metal. Even though I seen this as a crossover album, does have that bit of crossover thing going on, but it's not very much like DRI or SOD or MOD, you know, not like that. It's more, it's like a Motorhead really decided to get together with bands such as Anthrax and other hardcore band, or even like Whiplash or something, you know, and decided to really put out something. And to me, this is probably the most classic Carnivore album you'll ever. And yeah, I dig the second one, Retaliation, but this one's my favorite. The reason I got this copy is because of this is actually the original mix that was featured on the vinyl, because of right around 2000, 2001, Pete Steele decided to remix it, and that remix got reissued on Roadrunner at that time, which also had bonus tracks and kind of altered artwork, and would be on until Metal Mine decided to put back the artwork that you see right here. But this is the original mix, very much more raw, much more filthier. It's got that dirty sort of sound, and to me, for some reason, I really appreciate it, and I like the remix, but for some reason, this one seems to kind of do the trick for me. I know some might not agree with me, my brother, but I really don't care, because people enjoy whatever, how many, does not matter which way you enjoy this album. It's a classic amongst speed metal and thrash metal. And fucking Pete Steele's vocals, man. That's definitely, this is, you can't really, to me, honestly, it's very, he took a lot of lessons from Lemmy Kilmister. Next one, later, 1990 still, probably the last one of the 90s catalog. It's a remaster, reissue, but it was also released on the classic, released when it did. None other than this monster. Merciful Fates Don't Break the Oath. This is the 1997 remaster, which features the demo recording of Death Kiss, which would then become the song A Dangerous Meeting. Again, I can't say anything more than that you already know. Merciful Fates Don't Break the Oath even goes for Melissa, goes for their EP, goes for anything even later. They're great albums. They are, even though the later ones not as, classic sounding, but for some reason, every time I listen to this, I kind of notice some little difference, like the changes. I think this album kind of sparked a change. You can kind of tell where King Diamond was really going with. When in terms of the whole musical style, with all the more keyboards and synths and whatever, he kind of was really taking on the sound that would be more seen in other, albums such as by King Diamond, which I will show right now. It's from 2005. I know some guys on the Force of Steel forum probably would like to see this, even though some of you might have it, some of you might not, whatever. It's the 2005 Deluxe Edition reissue of King Diamond's Abigail, which has, bonus tracks, a cool concert DVD as well, and then some music videos. But this is definitely a pretty fucking cool album. It still features some ex-members of Merciful Fate besides King Diamond. I think Michael Denner and Hank Sherman are still on this. I think they were still present. I think after this, I'm not sure if they were still on them, because I haven't ventured that as much into. I still would like to get a copy of Fatal Portrait, but classic album, to be quite honest. Fucking classic. And yeah, it's a conceptual album, but every time I listen to this, I just seem to dig it even more. Now it's time to go into the licensing, because they did a lot of licensing, or licensed most of the stuff to Polish label Metal Mine, which I have a few that were, I have a few. And this is from my box set. I showed it before. Tanks, This Means War. And how I can tell is because right there's the Roadrunner Records label. Because they kind of released some of them. I guess they had also some partnership in Music for Nations, but they also, I think, helped release this also back then. Maybe worldwide, but they did. And again, I like this Tank more so than what fucking Mick Tucker and Cliff Evans are doing. Honestly, I'm on the Algae Ward train, so you can all kiss my ass. Going further, Honor and Blood. Again, licensed from Roadrunner. And this is like the original issues, because the box set was released in 2007. They later, Metal Mind started repressing them in 2009, so these are the original presses. And, again, what's there? Roadrunner Records label. Keeping it going. Last one of the box set of the Tank albums that boast the Roadrunner Records label, and that's 87 album. And again, right there. I have a vinyl rip though of this one as well later on, because this is probably some of the worst Metal Mind reissues. And during this time they did have some sketchy releases, and it wouldn't be until like 2009, 2010 that they would really, fix some of the what bogged some of their stuff down, correcting themselves. But it's a good album. It is. I like it. I actually do. I'm very fond of it. I'm very also fond of the ballad Lost. But this sounds like shit. It does. It does. The rip, whatever they ripped this from or something. Yeah, it's a vinyl rip, but whatever they did to this is goes up. It matches some of those really crappy bootlegs that, you know, like Revenge of True Metal, you know, some of those you might see. Those I've downloaded MP3, but like 320 copies, maybe WAV. They all sound like crap. They all sound like crap, and this is like this whole sound card right here sitting next to that. So I rarely play this. I rarely do. It's a bummer though, because it's a good album. I like it. Show this before. I'm gonna show it again. Violent Force, Malevolent Assault of Tomorrow. How you can now the logo does appear on this when they're doing that wasn't box sets. It would also kind of throw the Roadrunner Records logo on the spine. So right there on the spine, and right there again, right in front of your face, right in my camera. Last one of Metal Mind. It's again Roadrunner because they also helped press this back, and when it came out. Satan's Court in the Act, classic new wave of British heavy metal band. They're still going on today. They're releasing classic stuff still with this exact lineup. But again, this is not about Satan. This is about Roadrunner Records licensing it, and now it doesn't appear on the spine like you can see, like I showed my Violent Force, but it does appear there. However, when it came to this, what I've heard is the band didn't have a whole lot to do with some of these issues because Roadrunner didn't get band's approval. Even though Roadrunner I believe had the rights to them, that's why they licensed the stuff out the Metal Mind to reissue them. But honestly, what I've heard, this is considered an unofficial release, but this sound is like most of Metal Mind stuff, it's now hard to get. I've seen the sound go up to for really insane prices. It's asinine, but I found this when it was still at least available to buy, and it was sealed at Raspy Music down in Fresno. Was able to, so I'm a happy camper. It's a classic album anyway. Okay, now we're going on to actual more official releases, not licenses, copies. Last ones. Rat Infestation. Yeah, I know. Glam band, whatever. I have some Rat albums, including the EP, which I dig probably more so than their other ones because of it's much more raw sounding. So if you don't agree with me and think my taste sucks, F you. But right here back again, Roadrunner. It's also licensed from Loud and Proud. But found this at Walmart. Whatever. Most of these I found whatever. Keeping it going. Last one, Megadeth released on the Roadrunner Records label, and that's 13. Yeah, whatever. Next one. Only one I'm going to show on here. It's in my Canadian metal video. I don't have to show them, you already know, but I'm doing Roadrunner Records stuff, so I have to show it. Rush, Clockwork Angels. Again, this was also released on Roadrunner, but also released by, label that would mostly release most of their stuff, Anthem. So, there they are, sitting right next to each other. Yeah, standard digipack. Don't need to see it because you already have seen it. You already have, but whatever. Okay, that's pretty much it. I wish I had more. I wish I had at least the first 3 Railway albums. I wish I had those, Railway 2, Climax. Wish I did. Wish I had original presses of the Merciful Fate albums. I wish I had, original press of maybe the first Carnivore album. I wish I did, but sometimes they tend to go very pricey. It's much easier to probably get a hold of a Metal Blade original press, but at least for a Roadrunner press, even ones that were licensed in the Netherlands because they would do some from Shrapnel, such as Chastain or even LA Glamour's London. They would do those, but I don't because they tend to go for some prices that I don't want to spend too much on because, and plus, you know, I said in my other video, probably gonna just download them and probably check them out to see if it's worth the money because that London one I just can't get into, and the second one was not bad, but whatever. But I would like to have the first 3 Railway albums, maybe most of the high voltage pressings, but still would like to. Okay, I'm done rambling on. So I'm gonna end this with, this is Heavy Thrash Head saying, I'm out.